I'll do it or I'll die trying, because quitting already costs too much. That line is not meant to sound tough. It is meant to sound true, because deep down you already know this. Every time you quit early, something stays with you. Not failure. Regret. It shows up late at night when things get quiet. It shows up when you see other people move forward and you remember the moment you stopped. Most people are not lazy. They are tired of starting over. They make plans. They feel fired up. Then life gets uncomfortable and they slowly step back. Not all at once. Just enough to feel safe. Just enough to stay stuck. I'll do it or die is about ending that pattern. It is about deciding that walking away is no longer an option you allow yourself. Not because it's easy, because you are tired of the cost of quitting, the cost of unfinished goals, the cost of doubting yourself. If you've ever said, I know I could have done more, this is for you. This is not hype. This is a hard conversation about commitment pressure and what it really takes to change. Stay with this video if you're ready to stop negotiating with yourself and start acting like your future actually matters. Number one, decide there is no backup plan. I want to speak to you as someone who has spent a lifetime watching people succeed and watching people struggle. And the difference is rarely talent or luck, and almost a decision made deep inside. The title is simple and direct. I'll do it or die. And that idea starts with one hard choice. Decide there is no backup plan. This is not drama, and it is not about risk for attention. This is about honesty with yourself, and about how the human mind works when comfort is removed. Most people live with a quiet escape door in their head. If this does not work, I will do something else. If this gets hard, I will slow down. If this fails, I will explain it away. That small door changes how you show up every single day. When the pressure rises, the mind starts looking for relief. It searches for safety. It reminds you of easier options. That is human nature. The problem is that growth never happens in safety. Progress requires full commitment, not half effort. When there is no backup plan, your mind behaves differently. Your body behaves differently. You wake up with urgency. You listen better. You prepare more. You stop wasting hours on things that do not move your life forward. You stop arguing with yourself about whether today matters. Today matters because there is no other road. People say they want a better life, but they keep a second option close. Because it feels smart. It feels responsible. In real life, it weakens effort. When effort is weak, results are weak. Then confidence drops. Then people say they tried. They did not try fully. They tried with a safety net. And safety nets teach the mind that falling is acceptable. Deciding there is no backup plan does not mean being reckless. It means being focused. It means choosing one direction and giving it the respect of your full energy. When a person decides fully, they stop negotiating with discomfort. They stop asking if they feel like doing the work. They do the work because it is required. Everyday life tests commitment in small ways. The alarm goes off, and the body wants more sleep. The work feels boring. The progress feels slow. Nobody is clapping. This is where the mind checks if there is another option. When there is none, you stand up anyway. You move anyway. You keep the promise you made to yourself. Human psychology is simple. We move faster when we must. We focus better when the cost of failure is personal. When you decide there is no backup plan, you tell your brain that quitting is not available. The brain then looks for solutions instead of excuses. That shift alone changes outcomes. Many people wait for confidence before they commit. Confidence is built after commitment, not before. You decide first, then confidence grows through action. Waiting to feel ready keeps people stuck for years. They read, they plan, they watch others move ahead, they stay safe, and call it patience. It is fear dressed as logic. When there is no backup plan, your standards rise. You stop allowing small habits to steal your future. You pay attention to how you spend your mornings. You care about what you feed your mind. You limit distractions because distraction becomes expensive. Time wasted feels heavier because you know what is at stake. This decision also changes how you handle failure. Failure no longer becomes a reason to stop. It becomes feedback. When quitting is not allowed, you ask better questions. What needs fixing? What skill is missing? What effort was weak? You become a student instead of a victim. People often say pressure breaks people. Pressure reveals people. When there is no backup plan, pressure sharpens focus. It forces growth. It pushes you to levels you did not think you could reach. Comfort never does that. Think about the moments in life when you performed at your best. Most of them came when you had no choice. A deadline, a responsibility, someone depending on you. You showed up because you had to. That same energy can be chosen. It starts with a clear decision. Deciding there is no backup plan also clears emotional clutter. Regret fades because you know you are giving everything. Fear quiets because aim replaces thinking. Doubt loses power because daily effort builds proof. You may still feel tired. You may still feel unsure. You keep moving because stopping is not an option. This mindset builds self-respect. When you keep promises to yourself, your inner voice changes. You trust yourself more. You stop needing motivation speeches. Discipline takes over. Discipline is simply choosing what you said mattered, even when you do not feel inspired. People ask how to stay consistent. Consistency is easier when quitting is not allowed. When there is no second path, consistency becomes normal behavior. You do not debate it. You do not dramatize it. You do it. This decision also affects how others see you. People respond to certainty. They trust someone who stands firm. Opportunities come to those who commit because commitment signals reliability. Even if nobody is watching at first, the habits you build will speak later. There will be days when results are slow. Those days test the depth of your decision. Anyone can work when progress is fast. Very few continue when progress is quiet. No backup plan, people keep going. They understand that slow growth is still growth. There will be days when fear speaks loudly. Fear is not a signal to stop. Fear is a signal that something meaningful is happening. With no backup plan, fear does not get to vote. Action does. This approach removes drama from life. You stop overthinking every choice. You know what you are here to do. You know where your energy goes. That clarity brings calm even during hard seasons. Deciding there is no backup plan also demands honesty. You cannot blame others. You cannot hide behind circumstances. Responsibility becomes personal. That level of ownership is heavy, but it is powerful. When results come, you know you earned them. Many people want guarantees before they commit. Life does not offer guarantees. It offers opportunities that respond to effort. When you decide fully, you create your own leverage. You give life something to work with. This is not about perfection. You will make mistakes. You will have off days. The difference is, you do not quit on yourself. You correct and continue. That is how progress is built in the real world. I have seen ordinary people do extraordinary things after making one firm decision. Not because life became easy, but because they stopped leaving themselves an exit. They focused. They learned Lancer. They endured longer. Decide there is no backup plan, and then simplify your days around that decision. Ask simple questions each morning. What matters today? What must be done today? Do that before comfort shows up. In the end, this is not about success, titles, or applause. It is about self-respect. It is about looking in the mirror and knowing you did not live halfway. You chose fully. You showed up fully. When you remove the backup plan, you stop living in rehearsal mode. Life becomes real. Effort becomes honest. Growth becomes unavoidable. Make the decision once and live from it daily. Not with noise, not with speeches, with quiet, consistent action. That is how lives change. Number 2, burn escape routes and move forward. Burn escape routes and move forward is not about anger or drama. It is about clarity. It is about removing the quiet habits and choices that give your mind permission to step back when things get uncomfortable. Most people do not fail because they lack ability. They fail because they keep too many exits available. When pressure arrives, they step sideways instead of forward. When effort feels heavy, they soften their pace. When doubt shows up, they pause and wait. Those reactions feel normal because the mind is always looking for relief. If relief is easy to reach, growth slows down. An escape route can be small and quiet. It can be a habit of checking your phone when work feels heavy. It can be telling yourself tomorrow will be better. It can be keeping one foot in comfort while pretending to chase change. These things do not look dangerous at first. Over time, they weaken commitment. Human behavior changes when retreat is removed. When there is only forward motion available, your attention sharpens. You stop wasting energy, deciding whether to continue. You already decided. Your focus shifts from comfort to progress. That shift alone changes how you show up every day. People often say they feel stuck. In many cases, they are not stuck. They are surrounded by exits. Too many options make effort optional. When effort is optional, consistency disappears. When consistency disappears, results fade. Moving forward requires a clean break from habits that pull you backward. This is uncomfortable because the mind likes familiar patterns, even when they no longer serve you. Growth demands replacement, not just removal. You replace delay with action. You replace excuses with responsibility. You replace waiting with movement. When escape routes are removed, daily discipline becomes simpler. You stop asking yourself if you should do the work. You already know the answer. That removes mental noise. Less thinking leads to more doing. More doing builds momentum. Momentum is powerful because it feeds belief. Belief grows when actions line up with decisions. You start trusting yourself again. Trust in yourself is built through follow-through, not through positive thinking. This approach also changes how you experience fear. Fear does not disappear. Fear loses control. When there is no easy way out, fear no longer decides your behavior. You act even while feeling unsure. Action reduces fear faster than reassurance ever will. Many people try to motivate themselves with words. Words help for a moment. Structure helps for a lifetime. Removing escape routes is structural change. It reshapes your environment and your routines so forward motion becomes normal. This means being honest about what steals your time. Being honest about who pulls you back into old thinking. Being honest about which habits soften your standard. Honesty can sting. It also frees energy. Moving forward requires tolerance for discomfort. Progress often feels awkward before it feels rewarding. When escape routes exist, discomfort becomes a reason to stop. When they are gone, discomfort becomes part of the process. This mindset builds emotional strength. You stop reacting to moods. You stop waiting to feel ready. You operate based on commitment. Commitment carries you through days when motivation is absent. People often misunderstand discipline. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what feels easy now. Removing escape routes makes that choice clearer. There will be moments when you question your decision. That is normal. Growth always challenges identity. When that happens, do not debate your past decision. Action quiets doubt better than thinking ever will. Forward motion also builds patience. When you are no longer looking for exits, you allow results time to develop. You understand that progress is layered. Some changes happen quickly. Others need repetition. This approach strengthens character is built when behavior stays strong even when nobody is watching. When retreat is removed, private effort improves. That private effort creates public results later. Moving forward without escape routes does not mean ignoring rest. It means resting without quitting. It means recovering without abandoning the path. There is a difference between rest and retreat. People often ask how to stay focused long-term. Focus improves when direction is clear. Direction becomes clear when alternatives are removed. Fewer options create stronger attention. This decision also affects self-talk. You stop telling stories about why something is hard. You start asking how to make it work. Questions change behavior. Better questions lead to better actions. Burning escape routes is also about identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone trying. You see yourself as someone doing. That identity shift influences every choice. There will be pressure. Pressure is not a sign you are doing something wrong. Pressure often appears when growth is close. When retreat is unavailable, pressure becomes a signal to rise, not retreat. This path builds quiet confidence. Confidence built through effort lasts longer than confidence built through praise. You know what you can handle because you have handled it. Moving forward also simplifies relationships. People who respect your direction will support you. Others may drift away. That is part of growth. You are not here to please everyone. You are here to build a life you respect. This mindset also reduces regret. Regret grows when effort is withheld. When you give full effort, regret has no place to grow. Even when outcomes differ from expectations, peace remains. Forward motion teaches responsibility. You stop blaming conditions. You stop waiting for permission. You act within your control. That control expands as skill grows. Every strong life is built on decisions, followed by action, not perfect action. Consistent action, removing escape routes, protects consistency. There will be moments when old habits call for attention. That is normal. Do not argue with them. Replace them with movement. Movement rewires behavior. Burn escape routes and move forward is not a single event. It is a daily practice. Each day you choose not to step back. Each day you choose effort over ease. Over time, something important happens. Effort becomes identity. Discipline becomes normal. Progress becomes expected. This is how lives change quietly, not through dramatic speeches, through firm decisions, repeated daily. Remove the ways you retreat. Strengthen the ways you move. Forward motion builds everything else. Decide today that backward is no longer an option. Then take the next step, then the next. That is how momentum is built. That is how self-respect is earned. That is how growth becomes permanent. Number 3, bet fully on yourself. Every day, I want to talk to you about a decision that quietly shapes the direction of a life. The decision to bet fully on yourself every day. Not once, not when things feel easy, every day. This is not about confidence that comes and goes. This is about choice. This is about where you place your effort when nobody is promising a reward yet. Most people place their bets on circumstances. They wait for the right timing. They wait for approval. They wait for better conditions. Waiting feels safe because it delays responsibility. The cost of waiting is invisible at first. Over time, it becomes heavy. Time passes and potential stays unused. Betting on yourself means you stop outsourcing belief. You stop asking the world to prove you are ready. You decide that your effort deserves investment even before results appear. That decision changes how you wake up. It changes how you use small moments. It changes how seriously you take your own future. Every day you place bets, whether you notice it or not. You bet with your time. You bet with your energy. You bet with your attention. Many people bet against themselves by choosing comfort over effort again and again. They do not say it out loud. Their actions speak clearly. Betting fully on yourself does not require loud confidence. It requires consistency. It requires showing up even when belief feels low. Belief grows after effort is applied, not before. Effort comes first. People often misunderstand self-belief. They think it means feeling strong all the time. Real belief is built when you act while feeling uncertain. Each action sends a message to the mind that you are worth the effort. Over time, the mind listens. Daily life offers many chances to prove where your bet is placed. Do you follow through when tasks feel boring? Do you keep working when progress feels slow? Do you honor your plans when nobody is checking? These moments are where belief is built. Betting on yourself also means taking responsibility for growth. You stop blaming the past. You stop waiting for motivation to appear. You understand that motivation is created by movement. You move first. This decision requires honesty. You look at your habits without excuses. You notice what you avoid. You notice where you pull back. Awareness is uncomfortable. It is also powerful. You cannot change what you refuse to see. Many people say they believe in themselves while their daily behavior says otherwise. Real belief shows up as action. It shows up as effort invested consistently. Words without action lose value quickly. When you bet fully on yourself, you stop saving energy for later. You bring it into the day. You do not treat today as practice. Today counts. Today builds momentum. This mindset also changes how you deal with mistakes. Mistakes no longer become reasons to doubt yourself. They become part of learning. When you invest in yourself daily, mistakes are expected. Growth always includes correction. People who bet on themselves stop waiting for permission. They do not need perfect conditions. They work with what is available. Resourcefulness grows when responsibility is accepted. This decision strengthens discipline. Discipline is not about control. It is about alignment. Your actions align with your long-term goals instead of short-term comfort. Alignment brings calm. Betting on yourself every day also improves self-respect. Self-respect grows when behavior matches intention. When you do what you said you would do, your inner voice becomes supportive instead of critical. There will be days when effort feels heavy. On those days, the bet matters most. Anyone can work when energy is high. Commitment is proven when energy is low. This approach removes the habit of comparison. When you invest in your own path, you stop measuring yourself against others. You measure yourself against yesterday. That comparison is fair. It builds progress. Daily self-investment does not require dramatic moves. It requires steady actions. Reading when you want to scroll, practicing when you want to relax, resting with intention instead of escaping responsibility. Betting on yourself also means protecting your focus. Focus is limited. Where it goes determines growth. You learn to say no to distractions that steal time without giving value back. This mindset builds patience. You stop demanding quick proof. You trust the process because you are part of the process. Effort compounds quietly. Many people give up too early because they do not see immediate results. Those who bet on themselves understand that results lag behind effort. They stay consistent long enough to close that gap. This decision also affects how you speak to yourself. Self-talk becomes practical instead of emotional. You remind yourself of actions instead of feelings. Action-oriented thinking builds stability. Betting on yourself does not mean ignoring feedback. It means using feedback without losing direction. You listen, you adjust, you continue. Over time, this approach builds resilience. Resilience grows when you handle discomfort repeatedly. Each challenge handled adds strength. People often search for external validation. External validation is unreliable. Internal validation built through daily effort lasts longer. You know when you are doing the work. This mindset also reduces anxiety. Anxiety often comes from inconsistency. When actions are steady, the mind relaxes. Predictable effort creates emotional balance. Betting fully on yourself means investing even when others doubt. Doubt from others is common. Belief from yourself must be stronger. That belief is shown through persistence. You begin to see setbacks differently. They no longer define you. They inform you. Learning replaces judgment. This daily commitment builds identity. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior reinforces identity. Life becomes simpler when you place the bet clearly. You know where your energy goes. You know what matters. Decision fatigue decreases. This is not about pushing nonstop. It is about intentional effort. You roost to recover, not to avoid. Recovery supports consistency. Betting on yourself also brings courage. Courage grows with use. Each time you act despite doubt, courage strengthens. People often ask how long it takes to see change. Change begins the moment effort becomes consistent. Results arrive when consistency is maintained. This decision protects your future. Every day you invest becomes part of a larger foundation. Small actions repeated create strong outcomes. Bet fully on yourself every day and life responds differently. Opportunities appear because effort is visible. Skills grow because practice is steady. In the end, this is about trust. Trust built through action. Trust earned through follow-through. You do not need to feel special. You need to act consistently. That is enough. Place the bet again tomorrow and the day after. Over time, that decision becomes strength. That is how self-belief is built in real life. Number 4, take action as if failure ends you. I want you to understand the weight of this idea before anything else. Take action as if failure ends you is not about fear in a dark sense. It is about seriousness. It is about urgency. It is about removing the casual attitude that quietly ruins potential. Many people treat their goals like hobbies. When effort becomes optional, results become optional too. Most lives drift because effort is soft. People try a little, they pause often, they stop early. They call it balance. In reality, they never fully commit. When failure feels harmless, the mind does not push hard. When consequences feel distant, urgency disappears. Human behavior changes when the stakes feel real. When something truly matters, attention sharpens. Distractions lose their appeal. Energy rises. You move differently because the cost of not acting feels personal. Every day you take action from one of two places, either from comfort or from necessity. Comfort produces average effort. Necessity produces focus. When you act as if failure is not acceptable, effort becomes honest. Most people underestimate how much effort they are holding back. They do not notice it because life allows it. Bills still get paid. Days still pass. But growth stays slow. Dreams stay delayed. Taking action with seriousness means you stop testing the waters. You stop asking if this might work. You commit to making it work. That shift moves you from hoping to building. This mindset changes how you start your day. You no longer ease into responsibility. You step into it. You treat time with respect. You understand that wasted hours quietly steal futures. Fear shows up differently when stakes feel high. Fear does not disappear. Fear becomes fuel. Instead of freezing, you move faster. You act before doubt grows. People often wait to feel ready. Readiness is created through action. When you act with urgency, readiness follows. Skill improves because practice increases. Confidence grows because results begin to appear. This approach removes excuses quickly. When you treat failure as unacceptable, excuses sound weak. The mind stops entertaining them. You stop negotiating with yourself. Daily effort becomes sharper. You prepare more. You think ahead. You anticipate problems instead of reacting late. Responsibility increases awareness. Taking action with this intensity does not mean rushing blindly. It means caring deeply about outcomes. It means learning fast. When mistakes happen, you correct them immediately because delay feels costly. Many people live with a soft relationship to time. Tomorrow feels endless. Next week feels guaranteed. That illusion breeds delay. Acting as if failure ends you makes time valuable again. This mindset also changes how you experience pressure. Pressure no longer feels like a threat. It feels like confirmation that you are doing something meaningful. Easy paths rarely produce pressure. When effort is serious, pride grows. Pride does not come from talk. Pride comes from knowing you gave everything available to you. That knowledge strengthens identity. People often say they want to avoid stress. Growth creates stress. Avoiding stress avoids growth. The goal is not to avoid pressure, but to use it well. This level of action requires discipline over mood. Mood changes daily. Commitment must stay steady. Acting as if failure is not an option removes emotional debate. You stop asking how you feel. You ask what needs to be done. That question moves you forward regardless of emotion. This mindset also improves resilience. When setbacks occur, you do not collapse. You adjust. You learn. You continue. Stopping feels worse than struggling. Many people quit too early because failure feels acceptable. When quitting feels harmless, it becomes tempting. When quitting feels costly, endurance increases. Taking action this way builds respect for your own potential. You realize you are capable of more effort than you thought. That realization expands future goals. This approach also influences how others respond to you. Serious effort is noticeable. People trust those who show consistency under pressure. Opportunities move toward reliability. Acting with urgency simplifies decision-making. You choose actions that move the needle. You drop activities that waste energy. Focus improves naturally. This mindset does not require constant intensity. It requires consistent seriousness. You can work steadily while caring deeply. Burnout comes from confusion, not commitment. When purpose is air, energy lasts longer. Acting as if failure ends you clarifies purpose. You know why you are pushing. This approach also reduces regret. Regret grows from knowing you could have done more. When you give full effort, regret has no space to grow. There will be moments when progress feels invisible. Those moments test seriousness. Anyone can push when results are visible. Serious commitment pushes through silence. Taking action this way builds trust with yourself. Each follow-through strengthens that trust. Trust creates calm. Calm supports focus. People often ask how to stay motivated long-term. Motivation fades. Seriousness remains. Seriousness is a decision renewed daily. This mindset also changes how you treat preparation. You stop winging important things. You respect the process. Preparation becomes part of effort. When failure feels unacceptable, standards rise. You hold yourself to higher quality. You check details. You correct small mistakes early. This approach builds leadership within yourself. You stop needing reminders. You stop waiting for pressure from outside. You apply pressure internally with discipline. Acting with this level of commitment does not mean ignoring help. It means honoring rest as part of performance. Not as escape, recovery becomes intentional. Many people confuse intensity with chaos. Serious effort can be calm and controlled. Urgency does not require panic. It requires clarity. This mindset also sharpens priorities. You notice which tasks truly matter. Busy work loses appeal. Meaningful work gains weight. You begin to measure days differently, not by how easy they were, but by how much progress was made. Progress becomes the reward. Taking action as if failure ends you means you respect the chance you have. You understand that opportunities are not endless. Time is not unlimited. Effort today protects tomorrow. This way of acting builds courage. Courage grows each time you face difficulty without retreat. Courage becomes part of identity. People often fear commitment because commitment removes comfort. Comfort is temporary. Growth lasts longer. Choosing growth requires courage. This mindset also reshapes self-image. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. You see yourself as someone who commits. Commitment changes behavior, even when nobody is watching. Private discipline improves. That private discipline creates visible results later. Acting with seriousness creates momentum. Momentum reduces resistance. Tasks feel easier because starting becomes normal. This approach does not guarantee success in every attempt. It guarantees growth. Growth increases future success. Failure, when treated seriously, becomes instruction, not identity. You do not label yourself. You adjust strategy. Taking action this way builds a strong inner standard. You know what you expect from yourself. That expectation guides behavior. When effort is deep, life responds differently. Doors open because readiness is visible. Skill attracts opportunity. In the end, this mindset is about respect. Respect for your time. Respect for your ability. Respect for the life you are building. Take action today with seriousness. Not with fear, but with commitment. Not with panic, but with purpose. Act as if quitting is not allowed. Act as if effort matters deeply. Act as if this chapter of life deserves your best. That level of action changes outcomes. That level of action changes identity. And identity determines destiny. Number 5. Refuse retreat when pressure hits hardest. I want to talk to you about the moment that decides most lives, the moment pressure hits hardest, and the mind looks for a way out. This is where character is shaped. This is where direction is confirmed. Refuse retreat when pressure hits hardest is not about being stubborn. It is about understanding how growth actually works in real life. Pressure is not random. Pressure shows up when you are close to change. Pressure arrives when effort begins to matter. Easy paths do not create pressure. Comfort does not create pressure. Pressure appears when you stretch beyond who you have been. Most people are not defeated by lack of ability. They step back because pressure feels unfamiliar. The body tightens. The mind speeds up. Doubt gets louder. In that moment, retreat feels reasonable. Retreat feels protective. Retreat feels like relief. Relief is temporary. Retreat has a long memory. Each time you step back under pressure, your mind learns a pattern. The next time prior appears, the mind reacts fast. Over time, resilience weakens, not because of one big decision, but because of many small retreats. Refusing retreat is a skill. It is learned through repetition. The first time pressure hits, you may feel overwhelmed. That is normal. Strength is not the absence of discomfort. Strength is staying present while discomfort is active. Pressure tests priorities. When things get heavy, you discover what truly matters. If progress matters, you stay. If comfort matters, you step away. This choice happens quietly in daily life. Many people think they need confidence to handle pressure. Confidence comes later. What you need first is steadiness. Steadiness is the ability to stay engaged even when emotions are unsettled. Pressure often arrives disguised as fatigue. You feel tired, you feel drained, you feel unsure. These feelings are signals, not instructions. Feelings inform you. They do not decide for you. Refusing retreat means you do not abandon effort, just because the work feels heavier than expected. Growth often feels heavier right before it strengthens you. Muscles grow under resistance. Skills grow under challenge. Character grows under pressure. When pressure hits hardest, the mind tries to simplify life by reducing effort. It suggests delays. It suggests lowering standards. It suggests quitting quietly. These suggestions feel logical in the moment. Long-term, they weaken trust in yourself. Each time you stay under pressure, something important happens internally. You prove to yourself that discomfort is survivable. That proof reduces fear in future challenges. Courage grows through exposure. People often ask how to become mentally strong. Mental strength is built by staying present in difficult moments without escaping. It is not built by avoiding ruse. Pressure also sharpens focus. When retreat is refused, attention narrows. Distractions lose their pull. Energy is conserved and directed. This focused state improves performance. Refusing retreat does not mean ignoring feedback. It means staying engaged while adjusting. You can change approach without changing commitment. Flexibility within commitment is strength. There will be moments when pressure feels personal, when results are questioned, when effort feels unseen. These moments test motivation. Motivation fades, commitment remains. Commitment is a quiet force. It does not announce itself. It shows up as continued effort when applause is absent. It shows up as discipline when enthusiasm fades. Pressure exposes habits. Under stress, you revert to pattern. If your pattern is retreat, it will appear quickly. If your pattern is persistence, it will carry you forward. This is why daily discipline matters before pressure arrives. Habits built in calm moments support you during intense ones. Discipline practiced daily becomes automatic under stress. Refusing retreat also protects momentum. Momentum is fragile. One retreat can slow progress significantly. Staying engaged keeps momentum alive, even at reduced speed. There are times when pressure makes progress feel invisible. You work, you try, nothing seems to move. These moments are deceptive. Internal changes often happen before external results. Most people quit during invisible growth phases. Those who refuse retreat continue long enough to cross into visible improvement. Pressure also challenges identity. You may question who you are. You may doubt your ability. Staying present allows identity to evolve instead of collapse. Refusing retreat builds patience. Patience grows when you accept discomfort without immediate reward. This patience supports long-term success. People sometimes confuse retreat, rest. Rest, restore. Retreat, rest is intentional. Retreat is reactive. Knowing the difference protects progress. When pressure hits hardest, your internal dialogue becomes important. Speaking calmly to yourself keeps effort steady. Harsh self-talk drains energy. Supportive self-talk sustains focus. This approach also builds self-respect. Self-respect grows when you honor your commitment under strain. That respect strengthens future resolve. Pressure is also a teacher. It shows weak systems. It reveals missing skills. It highlights gaps. Staying engaged allows learning. Retreat blocks learning. Many people carry regret not from failure, but from quitting under pressure. That regret lingers because they know they left something unfinished. Staying removes that burden. Refusing retreat simplifies life. You stop debating whether to continue. You already decided. Decision clarity reduces mental fatigue. Pressure does not last forever. Moments of intensity pass. Growth remains. The ability gained through endurance stays with you. This mindset also affects leadership. People trust those who stay steady under pressure. Reliability is proven when conditions are difficult. Refusing retreat also strengthens emotional control. You learn to feel stress without reacting impulsively. Emotional maturity grows through these moments. There will be times when pressure tests your values, when shortcuts appear, when standards are challenged. Staying aligned builds integrity. Integrity creates inner peace. Inner peace supports sustained effort. This cycle strengthens resilience. Pressure often brings loneliness. Others may not understand your commitment. Staying true to your path builds independence. This approach teaches you to separate effort from outcome. You focus on what you control. Effort remains steady. regardless of immediate results. Refusing retreat also builds adaptability. You learn to adjust tactics while maintaining direction. Rigidity breaks under pressure. Adaptability survives. Over time, you begin to trust yourself more. Trust grows when you see yourself endure. That trust reduces anxiety in future challenges. Pressure also exposes distractions. Under stress, you notice what drains energy unnecessarily. You learn to protect focus. This mindset does not eliminate struggle. It gives struggle meaning. Meaning makes effort sustainable. When pressure hits hardest, and you stay, something shifts internally. You become less reactive. You become more deliberate. You become stronger. Refusing retreat is not about winning every battle. It is about staying in the fight long enough to grow. Growth changes how future pressure feels. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. Experience builds capacity. This approach builds a strong internal anchor. External conditions change. Internal commitment remains stable. Pressure often signals transition. You are leaving an old level. Staying allows you to reach the next one. Refusing retreat teaches endurance. Endurance supports achievement in every area of life. When effort remains steady under pressure, identity solidifies. You know who you are because you stayed. This is how strong lives are built, quietly. Not through comfort, through commitment under strain. When pressure hits hardest, stay present, stay engaged, stay committed. That moment matters more than you think. Because staying changes who you become, and who you become shapes everything that follows. Number 6, stand firm when fear demands surrender. Fear is not weakness. Fear is a response. It shows up when something matters. The real issue is not fear itself. The issue is what you do the moment fear starts demanding surrender. Fear does not usually arrive loudly. It creeps in quietly. It asks reasonable questions. What if this does not work? What if you fail publicly? What if you lose time? What if you look foolish? These questions sound practical. In truth, they are designed to slow you down. Standing firm when fear demands surrender is one of the most important skills a human can build. Not because fear goes away, but because fear loses control. Control is the real battle. Whoever controls your actions controls your future. Most people believe fear must disappear before action can continue. That belief keeps them stuck for years. Fear rarely disappears first. Action changes fear. Movement weakens fear. Stillness strengthens it. Fear grows in silence. It grows when you think too much and act too little. The mind fills empty space with worry. Standing firm interrupts that cycle. Action replaces imagination with reality. Fear often disguises itself as logic. It tells you to wait. It tells you to be careful. It tells you to gather more information. Caution has value. Endless delay does not. Fear uses delay to protect comfort. When fear demands surrender, it is asking you to step back into familiarity. Familiarity feels safe, even when it keeps you small. Growth always requires stepping into the unfamiliar. That is why fear shows up. Standing firm does not mean forcing confidence. It means refusing to retreat. You may feel unsure. You may feel tense. You continue anyway. Courage is not loud. Courage is quiet persistence. Fear is emotional energy. When you stand firm, you redirect that energy into effort. The body adapts. The mind follows. Action steadies emotion. Many people give fear too much authority. They treat fear like a warning sign that must be obeyed. Fear is information, not instruction. It tells you something matters. It does not tell you to stop. Fear often peaks right before progress. This is not coincidence. Change threatens old patterns. The mind resists change to conserve energy. Standing firm breaks that resistance. When fear demands surrender, it often highlights potential loss. Loss of comfort. Loss of image. Loss of certainty. These losses feel heavy because the brain values safety. Growth requires temporary discomfort. Standing firm builds trust in yourself. Each time you do not surrender to fear, you send a signal to your mind that you are capable. That signal grows stronger with repetition. Fear also tests self-belief. When fear speaks loudly, belief feels quiet. Belief is not emotion. Belief is commitment to act, despite emotion. Many people wait for fear to calm down. Fear calms after action, not before. Stillness gives fear more time to argue. Standing firm does not require dramatic moves. It requires one step forward when retreat feels tempting. One call, one page, one attempt. Small actions weaken fear. Fear often exaggerates consequences. It predicts worst outcomes. Standing firm reveals reality. Reality is usually manageable. This approach also builds emotional strength. Emotional strength is the ability to experience discomfort without fleeing. Each time you stay, emotional tolerance increases. Fear often shows up strongest when stakes feel personal. When stakes feel personal. When identity is involved. When pride is on the line. These moments shape character. Retreat shapes one kind. Standing firm shapes another. Standing firm when fear demands surrender also clarifies priorities. When you stay, you learn what truly matters to you. Fear reveals values. Fear also tests patience. It pushes urgency. It pushes escape. Standing firm slows reaction and steadies focus. People often confuse fear with intuition. Intuition is calm. Fear is loud. Learning the difference protects decisions. Fear is not defeated through thinking. It is defeated through experience. Experience comes from action. Standing firm also reduces regret. Regret grows when fear wins. Staying removes the question of what if. Fear loses strength when it is challenged repeatedly. It adapts downward. Confidence adapts upward. This balance shifts over time. This mindset also affects how you handle feedback. Fear resists criticism. Standing firm allows learning. Learning improves skill. Skill builds confidence. Fear often tells you that you are not ready. Readiness is built by doing. Waiting delays readiness. Standing firm does not mean ignoring risk. It means assessing risk without panic. Calm assessment leads to better choices. Fear is fast. Wisdom is steady. Standing firm gives wisdom time to guide action. This approach builds independence. You stop letting emotional waves control direction. Direction becomes intentional. Fear also highlights growth edges. Where fear is strongest, growth is needed most. Standing firm moves you into growth. Many people try to eliminate fear through reassurance. Reassurance fades. Evidence lasts. Evidence is built through action. Standing firm also strengthens discipline. Discipline holds behavior steady when emotion fluctuates. Fear thrives on isolation. Standing firm reconnects you to purpose. Purpose steadies effort. Fear can make you feel alone. In truth, many people feel the same fear. Few act anyway. Acting separates growth from stagnation. Standing firm also improves focus. When you commit to staying, distractions lose appeal. Energy concentrates. Fear often pushes urgency to quit. Standing firm introduces patience. Patience allows solutions to appear. This mindset builds long-term confidence. Confidence built through endurance lasts longer than confidence built through praise. Fear also tests integrity. It asks you to compromise standards. Standing firm preserves self-respect. Self-respect fuels future courage. Courage fuels future action. This cycle strengthens resilience. Standing firm does not require perfection. Mistakes will happen. Fear uses mistakes as evidence to quit. Standing firm uses mistakes as feedback. Fear is a poor judge of ability. It underestimates capacity. Action reveals capacity. Standing firm changes identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone controlled by emotion. You see yourself as someone who chooses action. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes outcomes. Outcomes shape life. Fear often tells you to wait for certainty. Certainty comes after commitment, not before. Standing firm teaches emotional regulation. You feel fear without becoming it. This approach also builds clarity. When fear no longer controls decisions, goals become clear. Fear is strongest when you imagine the future. Action anchors you in the present. The present is manageable. Standing firm is a daily practice. Fear returns in new forms. Each time you stay, you strengthen the habit. This habit carries into every area of life. Work, relationship, personal growth. Fear demands surrender because surrender keeps things familiar. Standing firm allows transformation. Transformation is uncomfortable. Comfort maintains the past. When fear demands surrender, remember that fear is not the enemy. Obedience to fear is stay grounded, stay engaged, stay committed. Stand firm not because fear disappears, but because your direction matters more. Each time you do this, you become stronger than the fear, and that strength stays with you long after the fear. Number 7. Work until excuses lose all power. Excuses are not lies. They are explanations the mind creates to protect comfort. They sound reasonable. They feel justified. That is why they are dangerous. Work until excuses lose all power is not about forcing yourself harshly. It is about changing the balance of power inside you. Excuses exist because effort costs energy. The brain is designed to save energy. When work feels demanding, the brain looks for relief. It offers stories. I am tired. I will do it later. This is not the right time. Others have it easier. None of these statements feel false in the moment. They feel convincing because they serve a purpose. Excuses only work when effort is weak. The moment effort becomes consistent, excuses begin to sound hollow. They lose their grip because action is louder than explanation. Most people think they need better motivation to beat excuses. Motivation fades. Work endures. When you work long enough, excuses run out of influence. They may still appear, but they no longer decide behavior. Excuses thrive in planning stages. They weaken during execution. The fastest way to reduce excuses is to start working before the mind builds arguments. Action interrupts narrative. Excuses also grow when goals feel distant. When progress feels far away, the mind looks for comfort. Work shortens the distance. Progress makes effort feel worthwhile. Many people spend years arguing with their excuses. They analyze them. They justify them. They feel guilty about them. None of that removes their power. Work removes their power. When you work daily, excuses lose credibility. You prove to yourself that effort is possible, even on difficult days. That proof changes internal dialogue. Excuses often appear strongest when conditions are imperfect. Waiting for perfect conditions strengthens excuses. Working with imperfect conditions weakens them. Excuses are emotional. They respond to fatigue, frustration, and fear. Work creates structure. Structure stabilizes emotion. This approach does not require extreme effort. It requires steady effort. Steady effort creates momentum. Momentum reduces resistance. Excuses often appear as comparisons. Others are ahead. Others started earlier. Others are more talented. Work refocuses attention on your own path. Comparison fades when effort is personal. When you work consistently, you stop needing to convince yourself. Action convinces you. Results reinforce belief. Excuses also hide fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of effort. Working exposes fear and reduces its control. Most excuses are future-based. What if it does not work? What if it takes too long? Work brings attention back to the present. The present is manageable. Excuses lose power when they are challenged repeatedly. Each time you work, despite resistance, you weaken that pattern. Habits change through repetition. This mindset builds self-respect. Self-respect grows when behavior aligns with intention. Each follow-through strengthens internal trust. Excuses often appear when tasks feel overwhelming. Work breaks tasks into steps. Steps reduce overwhelm. People often wait to feel inspired. Inspiration follows effort more often than it leads it. Working creates inspiration. Excuses also rely on uncertainty. Working provides feedback. Feedback clarifies direction. Clarity reduces hesitation. This approach changes how you view discipline. Discipline becomes a support system, not a punishment. It guides effort when emotion fluctuates. Excuses tend to multiply when effort is inconsistent. One missed day becomes a reason to miss more. Consistent work breaks that cycle. Working until excuses lose power does not mean ignoring rest. It means resting with intention, not as avoidance. Rest supports effort when used wisely. Excuses often show up as criticism. I am not good enough. I always mess up. Work replaces self-judgment with skill building. Skill improves through repetition. Improvement builds confidence. Confidence reduces excuses. Excuses also hide responsibility. Responsibility feels heavy. Work carries responsibility forward, one step at a time. When you work daily, excuses lose emotional charge. They still appear, but they feel weaker. You notice them without obeying them. This approach also simplifies decision-making. You stop debating whether to act. That becomes default behavior. Excuses feed on complexity. Work simplifies life by focusing on what matters. Many people fear working hard because they worry about burnout. Burnout comes from confusion and lack of purpose, not from meaningful effort. Working consistently builds rhythm. Rhythm makes effort feel natural. Natural effort requires less mental energy. Excuses often appeal to comfort. Comfort feels good short-term. Progress feels good long-term. Working shifts focus. This mindset also builds resilience. Resilience grows when you handle resistance repeatedly. Each challenge handled increases tolerance. Excuses often protect identity. If I do not try, I cannot fail. Working risks identity. Growth requires risk. When you work consistently, identity affoes. You see yourself as capable. That identity supports future effort. Excuses lose power when you stop negotiating with them. You do not argue. You act. Action teaches the mind that effort is safe. Over time, resistance decreases. Working until excuses lose power also improves emotional regulation. You stop reacting to mood swings. Behavior remains steady. This approach builds patience. Patience grows when you invest effort without immediate reward. Excuses often appear when results are slow. Working through slow periods builds endurance. Endurance supports long-term success. This mindset also affects relationships. People respect consistency. Reliability builds trust. Working consistently reduces anxiety. Anxiety thrives on uncertainty. Action creates structure. Excuses often appear when goals feel personal. When pride is involved, working focuses on process, not image. Process orientation reduces pressure. Pressure reduction supports sustained effort. Working until excuses lose power builds clarity. You learn what works, you discard what does not. Clarity improves efficiency. Efficiency reduces wasted effort. Excuses often come from overthinking. Work grounds thinking in reality. This approach does not require heroic effort. It requires honest effort. Honest effort accumulates. When you work despite excuses, you build courage. Courage grows through use. Excuses also weaken when you track progress. Visible effort reinforces commitment. This mindset builds internal leadership. You guide yourself instead of being led by emotion. Excuses lose power when standards rise. You expect more from yourself. That expectation guides behavior. Working consistently also reduces regret. Regret comes from inaction more than failure. Failure while working teaches. Inaction teaches nothing. Excuses often promise relief. Relief gained through avoidance is temporary. Satisfaction gained through effort efforts longer. Working until excuses lose power means you respect your goals enough to act even when it is uncomfortable. Disrespect builds pride. Pride built through effort is stable. Excuses lose influence when you experience progress firsthand. Experience outweighs imagination. This approach builds momentum. Momentum reduces friction. Friction reduction makes effort sustainable. Working consistently also strengthens discipline. Discipline becomes habit. Habit reduces reliance on motivation. Excuses thrive when motivation fades. Habit persists. Working until excuses lose power also clarifies values. You see what matters enough to work for. Values guide behavior. Behavior shapes outcomes. Excuses fade when outcomes improve. Improved outcomes reinforce effort. Effort builds identity. Identity supports future effort. This cycle strengthens over time. Work is the quiet force that reshapes inner dialogue. Excuses are loud early. They grow quiet later. Consistency reverses their roles. Working until excuses lose all power is not about winning one day. It is about changing who decides your action. When effort decides, excuses lose authority. And when excuses lose authority, progress becomes normal. That is how real change happens. Quietly, daily, through work. Number 8. Commit beyond motivation and mood swings. Motivation is unreliable. Mood is unpredictable. Commitment is what carries a person forward when both disappear. Commit beyond motivation and mood swings is not a catchy idea. It is a survival skill for anyone serious about changing their life. Motivation feels good when it shows up. It gives energy. It creates excitement. The problem is, motivation does not check your schedule before it leaves. Some days you wake up ready to work. Some days you wake up heavy and unsure. If action depends on feeling good, progress will always be unstable. Mood swings are part of being human. Energy rises and falls. Confidence shifts. Emotions respond to sleep stress, conversations and expectations. None of this means you are broken. It means you are human. The mistake is allowing mood to control behavior. Commitment removes that problem. Commitment does not care how you feel. Commitment remembers what you decided when you were clear. It carries that decision forward when emotions get loud. Many people think they need to fix their mood before they can work. Work often fixes mood. Movement creates momentum. Momentum improves emotional state. Waiting keeps emotions stuck. Commitment beyond motivation means you act even when enthusiasm is absent. You do the work quietly. You follow the plan without drama. That consistency builds strength. Mood swings often convince people that something is wrong. They interpret low energy as a sign to stop. Low energy is not a command. It is a condition. Conditions change. Commitment stays. This mindset simplifies life. You stop asking yourself daily if you feel like doing the work. The answer is already decided. That saves mental energy. Less thinking leads to more action. Motivation is emotional fuel. Commitment is structural fuel. Emotional fuel burns fast. Structural fuel lasts longer. People often chase motivation through content, music, or speeches. Those things can help briefly. They cannot replace discipline. Discipline is built through repetition. Commitment also builds trust with yourself. When you follow through, regardless of mood, your inner voice becomes calmer. You trust yourself to handle discomfort. Mood-based action creates inconsistency. Inconsistency creates self-doubt. Self-doubt increases emotional swings. Commitment breaks that cycle. Commitment beyond mood swings does not mean ignoring mental health. It means respecting structure. Structure supports emotional stability. This approach changes how you experience bad days. Bad days no longer derail progress. They become part of the process. You work slower if needed, but you do not stop. Motivation often fades when tasks feel boring. Growth requires boredom tolerance. Commitment carries you through repetition. Repetition builds skill. Skill builds confidence. Confidence stabilizes mood. Mood swings often come from uncertainty. Commitment reduces uncertainty, earning clarifying direction. When direction is clear, emotions settle faster. Commitment also protects long-term goals. Short-term feelings often conflict with long-term vision. Commitment prioritizes vision. People often say they lost motivation. They did not lose motivation. They lost structure. Structure restores action. Commitment means you keep promises made to yourself even when nobody is watching. That integrity strengthens identity. Identity built through consistency is resilient. It does not collapse under emotional stress. Mood swings can distort perception. You may feel behind even when progress exists. Commitment keeps effort steady until perception catches up. Motivation often depends on visible results. Commitment understands that results lag behind effort. This mindset builds patience. Patience grows when you act without immediate reward. Commitment beyond motivation also improves focus. You stop chasing feelings. You focus on tasks. Task focus reduces anxiety. Anxiety feeds mood swings. Stability grows. People who rely on motivation tend to overwork on good days and quit on bad ones. Commitment creates balance. Effort becomes even. Even effort is sustainable. Sustainability supports long-term growth. Commitment also reduces guilt. Guilt grows when intentions are not followed. Follow through removes guilt. Mood swings often bring self-criticism. Commitment responds with action instead of judgment. Action changes self-perception. Self-perception influences mood. Commitment beyond motivation also strengthens discipline. Discipline is practiced when motivation is low. Each time you act without motivation, discipline grows stronger. Mood swings also test self-control. Self-control improves through consistent choices. This approach does not eliminate emotional variation. It reduces emotional authority. Emotions inform. They do not Commitment teaches emotional literacy. You notice feelings without obeying them. This builds maturity. Emotional maturity supports leadership and responsibility. Commitment beyond mood swings also improves relationships. Reliability builds trust. Trust strengthens connection. Mood-driven behavior creates unpredictability. Predictability builds stability. Commitment also improves time management. You schedule work regardless of feeling. Schedules reduce decision fatigue. Decision fatigue worsens mood swings. Structure reduces it. Commitment protects energy. You stop wasting energy on internal debate. Internal debate drains more energy than effort itself. This mindset also improves resilience. You handle ups and downs without losing direction. Resilience grows through exposure, not avoidance. Commitment beyond motivation teaches endurance. Endurance supports achievement. People often underestimate how much progress, consistency, coordinates. Small daily actions compound quietly. Commitment makes compounding possible. Mood swings often exaggerate difficulty. Commitment grounds effort in reality. Reality is manageable. Imagination magnifies fear. Commitment also builds confidence, rooted in behavior. Behavioral confidence lasts longer than emotional confidence. This approach reduces reliance on external validation. You validate yourself through action. External validation fluctuates. Internal validation stabilizes mood. Commitment beyond motivation also clarifies priorities. You invest time where it matters. Clarity reduces stress. Stress worsens mood swings. Reduced stress improves consistency. Commitment helps you weather boredom, frustration, and doubt without quitting. Quitting resets progress. Staying compounds it. Commitment also builds respect for your future self. You act today to support tomorrow. Supporting tomorrow reduces regret. Regret often comes from acting based on mood rather than values. Commitment aligns behavior with value. Values-anchored behavior brings peace. Mood swings often come from conflict between desire and responsibility. Commitment resolves that conflict. Responsibility accepted brings calm. Commitment beyond motivation also strengthens courage. Courage is acting without emotional certainty. Each courageous act builds confidence. Confidence stabilizes emotion. This cycle reinforces itself. Commitment is not dramatic. It is quiet and steady. It does not announce itself. It shows up daily. When motivation is high, commitment makes progress fast. When motivation is low, commitment keeps progress alive. Mood swings will come and go. Commitment remains. That is why commitment outlasts inspiration. That is why commitment builds lives. Decide once, act daily. Let mood adjust later. Commit beyond motivation and mood swings, and your life will stop depending on how you feel and start reflecting who you decided to be. Number 9. Push through limits without seeking permission. I want to talk to you about one of the quiet habits that keeps people small without them realizing it. Waiting for permission. Permission from others. Permission from timing. Permission from confidence. Push through limits without seeking permission is about breaking that habit and reclaiming ownership of your effort. Many people do not realize how often they pause their lives waiting for approval. They wait until someone believes in them. They wait until conditions feel perfect. They wait until they feel certain that waiting feels responsible. In reality, it delays growth. Limits are rarely fixed. Most limits are learned. They are built from past experiences, opinions, and fear of judgment. When you treat those limits as permanent, they become permanent. When you challenge them, they move. Seeking permission gives limits power. It teaches your mind that progress requires approval. That belief creates hesitation. Hesitation weakens action. Pushing through limits begins with recognizing that no one is coming to authorize your growth. Progress is self-initiated. Growth starts when you decide to act without reassurance. Many people hesitate because they worry about what others might think. Judgment feels threatening because belonging matters. The truth is, growth often requires standing alone at first. Approval usually follows results, not effort. Limits often show up as internal questions. Am I ready? Am I good enough? Is this the right time? These questions feel practical. Often they are fear asking for delay. Pushing through limits means acting while those questions remain unanswered. Action answers them later. Most people underestimate how capable they are because they stop at the first sign of discomfort. Discomfort is not a stop sign. It is a signal that growth is happening. Limits are often emotional before they are physical. You feel resistance. You feel tension. You feel doubt. These feelings are not instructions to stop. They are invitations to expand capacity. Seeking permission softens effort. When permission is removed, effort sharpens. You act with more intent because you know the decision is yours. This mindset changes how you approach challenges. Instead of asking if you can, you ask how you will. That shift increases problem solving. Pushing through limits builds independence. You stop outsourcing confidence. You build it through action. Many people wait for confidence to push their limit. Confidence grows after limits are challenged, not before. Limits also appear as habits. You stop at familiar effort levels. You repeat what feels safe. Growth requires stepping slightly beyond routine. Pushing through limits does not require reckless behavior. It requires intentional discomfort. You stretch without breaking. This approach changes how you view failure. Failure becomes information, not judgment. When you are not seeking permission, failure loses shame. Permission seeking often comes from fear of criticism. Criticism hurts most when identity depends on approval. When identity is rooted in effort, criticism loses weight. Pushing through limits also sharpens focus. You stop paying attention to external noise. You concentrate on what you control. Many limits exist only because they have never been tested. Once tested, they collapse. This mindset builds courage. Courage is not absence of fear. Courage is action without approval. People often believe others are more capable. In reality, many people act despite uncertainty. That action creates skill. Skill reduces fear. Reduced fear expands limits further. Pushing through limits also builds resilience. Each time you exceed a previous boundary, you learn that difficulty is survivable. Survivability reduces fears and future challenges. Limits also appear in self-talk. I am not that kind of person. That is not for me. These statements are stories, not facts. Action rewrites stories. Seeking permission also slows learning. When you wait for certainty, you delay experience. Experience teaches faster than tinner. Pushing through limits accelerates learning. You learn by doing. Mistakes become lessons. This mindset also improves adaptability. You become comfortable operating without guarantees. Adaptability supports long-term success. Limits often protect comfort. Comfort feels good short-term. Growth requires temporary discomfort. Pushing through limits trains tolerance for discomfort. Tolerance increases capacity. Capacity expansion creates new opportunities. Many people believe limits define them. Limits reflect current conditioning, not potential. Potential is revealed through fan. Pushing through limits also improves discipline. Discipline grows when you act beyond desire. Desire fluctuates. Tiginal remains. This approach reduces comparison. When you focus on your own limits, you stop measuring against others. Comparison often becomes an excuse to stay safe. Pushing through limits also builds respect from yourself. Self-respect grows when you see yourself attempt difficult things. That respect strengthens identity. Identity influences behavior. Behavior expands limits further. This cycle builds momentum. Seeking permission interrupts momentum. Momentum thrives on continuous action. Limits often appear strongest at transition points. When moving to a new level, uncertainty rises. Staying engages growth. Pushing through limits also changes how you experience fear. Fear becomes background noise instead of a barrier. Noise fades with repetition. This mindset improves clarity. When you stop waiting for approval, decisions become simpler. Simpler decisions reduce stress. Reduced stress supports sustained effort. Pushing through limits also builds leadership qualities. Leaders act without constant reassurance. They trust their judgment. Judgment improves through experience. Experience comes from action. Limits also appear as routines that no longer challenge you. Growth requires updating routines. Pushing through limits means increasing difficulty. Toughness. Gradual challenge builds strength without overwhelm. This approach respects human psychology. Sudden extremes cause resistance. Progressive challenge builds confidence. Limits also show up in expectations. You expect less to avoid disappointment. Low expectations limit effort. Pushing through limits raises standards. Higher standards improve results. Results reinforce belief. Belief supports further effort. Seeking permission often delays starting. Starting is the hardest part. Action reduces resistance quickly. Once engaged, limits feel less intimidating. Pushing through limits also improves problem solving. Problems appear less threatening when you trust your ability to adapt. Adaptation builds confidence. Confidence expands limits further. This mindset reduces regret. Regret grows from untested potential. Action removes uncertainty. Limits also protect identity from change. Change threatens familiarity. Growth requires identity evolution. Pushing through limits allows identity to grow naturally. You do not become someone else overnight. You become more capable gradually. Seeking permission freezes identity. Action evolves it. Pushing through limits also improves creativity. Creativity increases when you stop asking if ideas are allowed. Ideas gain value through execution. Responsibility feels heavy. Growth requires expecting responsibility. Pushing through limits builds ownership. Ownership increases motivation. Motivation becomes internal. Internal motivation is stable. Seeking permission keeps motivation external. External motivation fluctuates. Pushing through limits stabilizes effort. Effort consistency builds success. Limits often hide as politeness. You avoid pushing because you do not want to offend. Growth sometimes requires firmness. Firmness can coexist with respect. Respect for yourself matters. Pushing through limits also improves time use. You stop waiting. You start acting. Action reveals what truly matters. This mindset encourages self-trust. You trust your ability to figure things out. Trust grows through practice. Practice expands limits. Limits recede with familiarity. Seeking permission delays familiarity. Pushing through limits also improves confidence. In decision-making, decisions become quicker. Quick decisions reduce anxiety. Reduced anxiety improves focus. Focus supports progress. Limits also appear in how you speak about yourself. Language shapes belief. Action reshapes language. When you act boldly, your words change naturally. Pushing through limits without seeking permission means you accept uncertainty as part of growth. Uncertainty becomes manageable through exposure. Exposure builds resilience. Resilience supports long-term achievement. This approach does not guarantee comfort. It guarantees growth. Growth creates options. Options create freedom. Freedom means from capability. Capability comes from action. Action begins when you stop waiting for permission. Push through the limits you feel today. Not all at once. One step beyond familiar. Do not ask if you are allowed. Decide if it matters. If it matters, act. That is how limits move. That is how confidence is built. That is how lives expand quietly. Through action taken without permission. Through effort applied without approval. Through limits challenged repeatedly. That is where growth lives. Number 10. Finish the mission, no matter the cost. I want to talk to you about completion because most people never fail from lack of effort. At the start, they fail because they stop before the finish. Finish the mission no matter the cost is not about destroying yourself or ignoring your well-being. It is about honoring commitment when the excitement fades and the work becomes heavy. Starting feels good. Beginnings are full of hope. Endings require character. The middle is where most people disappear. They slow down. They get distracted. They convince themselves that stopping quietly is acceptable. That habit steals more futures than failure ever could. Finishing is a psychological decision before it is a physical one. The mind must accept that walking away is not an option once you begin. When that decision is clear, behavior changes. Effort becomes steady. Focus sharpens. You stop saving energy for quitting. Many people underestimate how powerful completion is. Completing something builds confidence faster than starting 10 things. Completion teaches the brain that effort leads somewhere. That lesson changes future behavior. The cost of finishing is often discomfort, not danger. It is boredom. It is fatigue. It is frustration. These costs feel heavy, Because the brain wants relief. Relief is easy when quitting is allowed. Finishing removes that relief option. When quitting is unavailable, the mind looks for endurance. Endurance grows through use. People often confuse flexibility with quitting. Flexibility adjusts methods. Quitting abandons direction. Finishing allows flexibility without surrender. When you finish what you start, your identity changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. You see yourself as someone who completes. That identity influences every future decision. The mission does not have to be dramatic. It can be a daily routine, a project, a promise you made to yourself. Small missions finished consistently build trust. Trust in yourself is built through follow-through. Follow-through stabilizes confidence. Stable confidence reduces anxiety. Many people quit when progress slows. Slow progress feels discouraging because effort continues without visible reward. Finishing requires patience through slow phases. Slow phases often hide important growth. Skills are consolidating. Habits are forming. Endurance is strengthening. Leaving early wastes that work. Finishing also teaches focus. You stop chasing new excitement. You learn to stay with one thing long enough to matter. This mindset changes how you respond to obstacles. Obstacles become problems to solve, not reasons to stop. Problem solving improves skill. Skill growth reduces future difficulty. Finishing also reduces regret. Regret grows when you wonder what might have happened. Completion removes that question. The cost of finishing often includes saying no to distractions. Distractions offer quick pleasure. Finishing offers long-term satisfaction. Satisfaction earned through effort lasts longer than pleasure gained through escape. Many people quit because they fear the judgment of finishing poorly. Imperfect completion is better than endless starting. Completion teaches more than avoid. Finishing also strengthens discipline. Discipline is tested most at the end, when novelty is gone. Passing that test builds resilience. Resilience supports every area of life. Finishing the mission also requires emotional control. Emotions fluctuate. Commitment stays. You act based on decision, not mood. Mood-based behavior creates inconsistency. Inconsistency prevents completion. Completion also clarifies values. You learn what you care about enough. Finish. That clarity simplifies life. You invest energy where it matters. Finishing builds momentum. Completed tasks fuel the confidence to start new ones. Unfinished tasks drain energy. They linger mentally. Completion frees attention. Many people carry mental weight from unfinished commitments. That weight creates stress. Finishing releases it. The cost of finishing may include discomfort in the moment. The benefit includes peace afterward. Peace earned through effort is stable. Finishing also improves self-respect. Self-respect grows when behavior aligns with intention. Intention without completion weakens trust. Trust supports courage. Courage supports growth. Finishing the mission does not mean ignoring rest. It means resting without abandoning direction. Recovery supports completion when used wisely. Burnout comes from confusion and lack of purpose, not from meaningful effort. Meaningful effort is sustained by clarity. Clarity comes from commitment. Commitment drives completion. Finishing also improves time awareness. You stop treating time casually. You respect deadlines because you respect outcomes. Respect for outcomes increases effort. Quality effort produces better results. Better results reinforce commitment. Finishing teaches patience with yourself. You learn to tolerate imperfection without quitting. Tolerance for imperfection allows learning. Learning improves performance. Performance increases confidence. Confidence reduces hesitation. This cycle strengthens with each completed mission. Finishing also changes how others see you. Reliability is noticed. Trust grows. Trust attracts opportunity. Opportunity responds to consistency. Consistency is built through finishing. Many people believe motivation must stay high to finish. Motivation fades. Commitment remains. Commitment carries you when motivation leaves. Finishing requires choosing effort over comfort repeatedly. Repeated choices build habit. Habit reduces resistance. Reduced resistance makes finishing easier over time. Finishing also improves emotional stability. You stop riding highs and lows. Behavior stays steady. Steady behavior supports mental health. Mental health improves when actions align with values. Values drive commitment. Commitment drives completion. Finishing the mission, no matter the cost, also teaches prioritization. You learn to allocate energy wisely. Wise energy use prevents exhaustion. Exhaustion often comes from scattered effort, not sustained focus. Focus deepens with commitment. Deep focus improves efficiency. Efficiency reduces unnecessary strain. Finishing does not mean pushing blindly. It means staying engaged intelligently. Intelligent persistence adjusts tactics while preserving direction. Direction is what matters. The mission may evolve. The decision to finish remains. Evolution without abandonment builds strength. Finishing also protects against self-sabotage. Self-sabotage thrives on unfinished business. Completion shuts that door. Many people fear the final stretch because it exposes effort to evaluation. Evaluation can feel threatening. Avoidance feels safer. Growth requires exposure. Exposure builds resilience. Resilience supports finishing. Finishing teaches accountability. You take responsibility for outcomes. Responsibility increases maturity. Maturity stabilizes effort. Stable effort, earth. Results. Results reinforce belief. Belief supports future missions. Finishing also simplifies self-talk. You stop explaining. You act. Action quiets doubt. Doubt fades with evidence. Evidence is built through completion. Finishing builds internal authority. You trust your decisions. Trust reduces dependence on external validation. External validation fluctuates. Internal validation remains. Finishing also strengthens patience with process. You learn that meaningful things take time. Time invested intentionally pays dividend. Dividends appear as skill, confidence, and clarity. Clarity guides future action. Finishing the mission no matter the cost means you respect the version of yourself who decided to begin. You honor that decision through action. Honoring decisions builds integrity. Integrity creates peace. Peace supports focus. Focus enables completion. This approach does not promise ease. It promises growth. Growth creates capability. Capability creates freedom. Freedom comes from finishing what matters. When you finish something difficult, you carry that rent forward. That strength changes how future challenges feel. Challenges become manageable. Manageable challenges invite growth. Growth becomes normal. Normal growth builds a strong life. Finish the mission not because it is easy. Finish because it matters. Finish because starting deserves perfection. Finish because your future self depends on it. Finish because discipline creates dignity. Finish quietly. Finish steadily. Finish with respect for the work. Finish and let the results speak. That is how commitment becomes character. That is how effort becomes identity. That is how lives are built through completion.